it's Mike, and got a lot to say about the Hare Krishna and this whole guru. these fake gurus, especially these ones that fell down, and the last couple of days, in the last week, two ISKCON gurus have given up being guru now, and I'm gonna follow up on some new events, what's going on about that, and then some other stuff. So let's get right to this opening. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. Hey, so thanks for joining me. I want to talk about this Trivikram Swami that recently was caught. He came out and admitted that he's having sex with one of his disciples, or at least was having sex, and still is, or is and was and is, whatever's going on, because you gotta take with what they say. You know, it's hard to believe everything these guys say, but if they come out and admit that something was going on, then something was going on. But then, you know, they're probably not going to be honest about what exactly was going on. But anyway, he got caught, and he's given up his guru-ness, his Swami name, and now he's gonna, I don't know, he's gonna take it easy for a while, figure out what he's gonna do, and fuck everything else. I mean, fuck his disciples and whatever else is going on, right? He's just saying, hey, adios, everybody. I got caught, so I'm gonna go hang out where everybody hangs out with all my buddy gurus that have done the same thing that I've done. The only difference is he's 83 years old. This guy's 83. You know, I mean, but anyway, so this is what people are in the movement. This is what people are talking about him. They're talking about him, and I'm going to show you what they're talking about here from this webpage. What they're saying. So, and it's pretty revealing what's going on. So, this is what this one person is saying, and this is they don't give their names because they have these fake names that they call each other because they're like this spiritual. They got this spiritual name, and then they use. They don't want anybody. They don't want anybody to know who they're. They don't want anybody to know their fake name. Right? They're hiding behind they're not using their real name. They're using a fake name. And then they don't even want people to know who their fake name is. Why do they got to do that? Why do they feel like they got to hide behind? They don't even want to give up their fake name because they're scared of. What are they scared of? Repercussions, something. Mentally, they're in a mental. They can't criticize. They're afraid to criticize because be kicked out, they'll be shunned, whatever. So here they go. So we don't even know who's talking because they don't want to reveal their fake their fake name. It just says I Dasi, so it could be anybody, right? I Dasi. She says, and I know it's she because it's Dasi, right? This ISKCON vote in a guru is a deceitful, sick joke. No matter how many times it's told, there is a continuous stream of gullible people who are misled by the GBC and all its affiliates. It's just not funny anymore. Well, she's one of the gullible ones that's being misled, and she's being misled by the GBC. The Prabhupada created the GBC to mislead people because he was misleading people. This whole organization is full of shit. It's all BS. And when this guy falls down and it shows that it's BS, even the people that know that it's BS, they want to excuse it as they don't want to accept that it's BS. It's somehow something else. It's the GBC did it. It's the GBC's fault that this guy is doing everything Prabhupada said to do, and he's 83 years old and he can't control himself. At least the way he's supposed to be. I mean, if he wasn't in the Hare Krishna, who cares what he's doing at 83 years old? Who cares? But he's scamming everybody, pretending to be this holy man, this spiritual, pure devotee, whatever they want to call it. And he shows himself to be just an ordinary guy who wants to get laid, even at 83 years old. Even at 83 ye's old. Even after doing all this bullshit for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. This guy's 83. He joined when he was 20. He's been doing Hare Krishna for 60 friggin' years. 60 years he's doing this shit. And he's a Swami. Which means he's not like the ordinary Hare Krishna guy. This guy's living the good life. He's traveling around. He didn't have a care in the world. All he's got to do is follow what he's preaching, and he should be just skating through life on easy street. That's what they say. That's what they want me to believe. But he can't even do it. He wants us to believe he's only been doing this for 6 months. Come on, man. But the people in ISKCON aren't even falling for it. But they don't want to put the blame where the blame is, which is on Prabhupada. Prabhupada created this whole scheme. It's created by him. This whole thing is created by him. Oh, hey, how you doing? Well, I'm glad you got here. What's this about, if I may ask? It's about ISKCON being a cult, a dangerous cult. That's what it's about. ISKCON is a dangerous cult with scamming gurus that fall down. They have sex with little boys, little girls. That's what this is about. Are you all for that? You support child marriage and women should be married at 11 years old? Women are less intelligent. Black people should stay in the jungles and are not, shouldn't be given independence. You support this crap? Yeah, they're accused of a lot of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. So recently, 2 of their gurus fell down just in the last couple of days. And so one of them These guys are from the U.S., and they go to India to cheat. They go to India to cheat Indians because Indians are very respectful when it comes to gurus and temples and deities and chanting. The Indians are very respectful. And so they go over there and they swindle these Hare Krishnas go over there and they swindle the Indians into believing that they should donate money, they should build temples, they should do all kinds of things. These guys are nothing but cheaters. This guy's 83 years old and he falls down, has sex with one of his disciples. It's one of the worst things you can do. He's been a Hare Krishna for 60-something years. And now his disciples and these Hare Krishnas are talking about what's going on. And he's saying, this woman says, you are so right. This is just not funny anymore. But they have these sheeple that will swallow anything or jump off any mountain to defend these cheaters. We tell them not to be mean, but try to help them wake up. 70% fall downs are not enough to shake them out of their illusions. So these followers, they can see that there's something wrong, but they can't see that they're in a cult. They can't see that they themselves are being fooled. They think someone else is being fooled. It's always someone else. It's always someone else's guru that's falling down. It's always somebody else who's having problems. It's always some other reason why things aren't right. They don't go to the root, and that is it's a cult. This whole thing is it's just a dangerous cult that harms children, harms men and women. It harms everybody. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, buddy? I sent you an email. I replied to your email. So these are some of the devotees that are responding to Trivikram's fall down. And so then this person says, isn't he like 83 or 84 years old? And then this other devotee says, Prabhupada explained that having sex with your disciples is the same as pedophilia. I'm sorry, I missed your intro part. What do you say about the Rit? I say that Ritviks are no different than ISKCON. They follow the same fake books, the same horrible teachings. They're just as racist, just as sexist. They cover up for child molesters. They pal around with predators. There's no difference. Well, no, it's my personal experience. It's not an opinion. This is my experience. So, I don't... That's your opinion. I'm speaking from experience. Everything I'm saying is from experience. So I was a Hare Krishna for 20 years. I know all these people that I'm talking about. I met many of the people that I'm talking about. I've read all the books. I've seen all the videos. I worked for ITV. And you can't tell me that this is my opinion. This is my experience. This is what I've experienced in ISKCON. I've experienced the abuses that I'm talking about. I didn't just read this in the paper, like many of you. I've experienced this. You can't tell me anything. There's nobody out there, there's not one of you out there that can tell me anything about this disgusting fucking cult. And I don't give a shit what your opinion is. So then it comes to find out that this Trivikram Swami that's having sex with this 83-year-old Swami, Trivikram, has been having sex with one of his disciples. And he decides he's going to take some time off to figure out what he's going to do. Oh, how convenient. How convenient for him. Not convenient for his disciples, though. and all the people that he's supposed to be guru for. Now they wake up one day and they wake up one day and they find out that their guru that they've been following for regulative principles, but their guru has not. Every ISKCON temple is the same. I mean, why do you want to continue to argue with me? This is not a debate. Oh, Trivikram Swami. Trivikram Swami has come out and admitted that he's been having an affair with one of his disciples. Naranjan Prabhu says he's too stressed out to continue to be a guru. He wants to take a break. And what kind of bullshit is that? If the guru is too stressed, if life is too much for my guru and he has to take a break from being guru, what am I supposed to do? Can I take a break from being disciple when I get too stressed out? Can I take a break from being a disciple and just say, hey, you know what? I want to go, I want to go have sex. I want to go get some hookers and maybe get some coke, go shack up in a hotel for a couple days. Is that okay? Can I do that? I'm not talking false allegations. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you know that there was a $400 million lawsuit against ISKCON for child abuse? Do you know that more than 25 adult children have committed suicide because of this fucking cult? What the fuck are you talking about, false allegations? Do you know that a man was shot in his van on Canfield Avenue, blocks from the LA temple, by Hare Krishna freaks on orders of their gurus to shoot him in the head? And you're telling me about false allegations? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You want to defend these people? What the fuck? Man, I'm gonna ban your fucking ass. What is the fuck wrong with you? Yeah, he's in the right room. He's in the right room because he needs to hear this shit. He's in the right room because he needs to hear this shit. He's a brainwashed fucking idiot. And no one's told him that. And he gets to go bounce through life as a brainwashed fucking idiot, and no one's stood up and told him, well, now he's in this room, and I'm telling him, yeah, you're a fucking idiot, dude. The fuck? My experience for this idiot thinks that I'm making false allegations. My daughter was molested at the LA temple. And they told me there's nothing we can do about it because he hasn't been found guilty of anything. But yet they don't want to turn him into the police. So how's he going to be found guilty of anything if they don't want to turn his ass into the police? So I turned his ass into the police. And they didn't like that I turned his ass into the police. Yeah, well, that's why I'm telling you, you fucking idiot. I'm fucking telling you. So shut up. Fucking A, man. My friend Jog Jivan committed suicide because of this fucking cult. Because they preached to him his whole fucking life that homosexuality was bad and he couldn't deal with it. And finally, at 55 years old or whatever, he couldn't take it anymore and he fucking killed himself. Why? Because some fucking idiot old man said that homosexuals are farted out of Lord Brahma's ass in some friggin' book during one of his snuffed out hallucinations? So Jog Jivan is so brainwashed by this cult that instead of just walking away, he fucking commits suicide? And Janardana jumps off his fucking balcony or whatever? Because he can't take the stress of what he thinks is of this fantasy world that he's been brainwashed into believing. Somehow he's so stressed out in his mind. This hallucinatory fantasy world that Prabhupada's created in these friggin' books causes Janardana to commit suicide? Or Jayananda to commit suicide? All these kids that were tortured in his schools, in this fucking prick's school. He had no business opening a school and putting these fucking degenerates in charge of children. The fuck? And all these children are molested, raped, tortured by these people? Are these people that Prabhupada put in charge of this bullshit? That call themselves, that are now dancing around like they're Swami? Like they're friggin' who knows what, saving the world? After putting bullets in some guy's head? Give me a fucking break, man. Man, they should be so criminally investigated. They should be, if it wasn't a church, they would have been totally shut down for racketeering and everything. They get away with it because they're a church. And every now and then, individually, one of them gets caught doing something, and just like anybody, but as an organization, the whole thing should be shut down. It's dangerous. It's racist, sexist. It's the Taliban. Child marriage, racism, misogyny, women treated like shit, everybody treated like shit, children aren't protected, gurus worshipped like friggin' God on earth, while children are being molested and tortured. Probably doesn't give a shit about nothing. Didn't do shit to protect children. Had no business opening a school. Ruining these people's lives. 83 years old. 83 years old now, and his legacy is going to be, oh, that was the Swami that friggin', that cheater Swami that had sex with his disciple when he was 83 years old. That's his claim to fame now. You got Jayatirtha got his head chopped off. You got Hansaduta that was doing prostitution, drugs, and machine guns in Berkeley. Kirtananda with little boys in West Virginia, shooting people in vans in L.A. Rameshwar running off with an underage girl. Bhagavan running off. Harikesh running off. Bhavananda with little boys. I mean, shit goes on and on. That's just off the top of my head. That's a big top head. When you can name off more friggin' criminals than friggin' gangsters and outlaws. Not to mention the guy that touched my daughter. And the other guy on the street that just touches little kids and just strolls around there like it's nothing. On Watsika Avenue in Los Angeles. They don't give a shit that there's predators in their neighborhood, in their community. They don't care. You know, I didn't. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't. In 1992, I didn't have internet. I didn't have any way to research anything. But now you can. Same thing with Scientology. Any cult organization, you can instantly look it up. And people still join. People don't know. Shit, if you Google ISKCON and child abuse, your computer will friggin' explode. Your computer, it'll friggin' overload with websites to visit and YouTube videos about all the bullshit that Prabhupada has said and grown children speaking out, woman talking about how she was raped when she was 13 years old at a Krishna festival. Shit's insane. And and all the shit that I've been talking about for like the last year, the gurus, the child abuse, all that shit that I've been talking about is happening it's all happened while I've been streaming. The child abuse, domestic abuse, child marriage, the video about the lady talking about how she child marriage when she was married off at 13 to a 26-year-old man so he could take her to India and continue abusing her. Gurus falling down. Gurus having sex with everything. Everything I've been talking about has happened while I've been streaming. And now two gurus fall down in the last 5 days or whatever. ISKCON teaches discrimination, hate, and their Bhagavad Gita too. Yes, ISKCON teaches a lot of hate. ISKCON does a lot of things that cults do. They do everything the cults do. In fact, there's a list right here of things that they do. Isolation. They cut themselves off from the rest of society. Okay? They insulate themselves from everything. That is a main cult tactic. They have an us versus them mentality, which is devotees versus the karmis. If you're not a devotee, you're a karmi. Or you're a Mayavadi. So it's karmis and Mayavadis. So you're either a devotee, or you're a karmi, or a Mayavadi. No other option. And that goes along with the isolation, because once you determine who's the karmi, who's the demon, then you just cut them off. Your friends, your family, your children, your parents, everything. Devotees don't even want to get a job because they don't want to work around non-devotees. They don't want to be around them. They're afraid. They're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be around these people that eat meat and have sex and smoke cigarettes and do drugs and go to Vegas on the weekends, and us versus them. The leader is considered faultless and cannot be criticized. Well, you definitely can't criticize Prabhupada. Not even the littlest bit. I remember the first time it was over the moon landing, and it was just like and my friend was telling me about it, and I was already into Hare Krishna. I'd read Bhagavad Gita. I was into it, and we were having this discussion, and he brought up the moon landing, and I was like, no, we landed on the moon, dude. I was like, you're not gonna, nah, there's no way. I know we landed on the moon. And he was like, well, Prabhupada said, and that's it. And he got a little angry and testy with me over Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said it, that's it. Final. It's final. That's it. And I kind of learned that's how they act. It's like, Prabhupada said it, that's it. There's no discussion on that. Brainwashed. Yep, they're this. So, little more names. Bhaktividyapurna. Yeah, so Bhaktividyapurna, Suhotra, Nitai Chand, he was the early one. Puramgati, yeah. Bhaktivallabha Puri, Bhaktividya Vaidurya Madhu, Nityadit, yeah, and then there was like Satyadana and then there was something that happened after I left, because I left in 2012. So in 2012, I bounced out, and I did not know I didn't know much of anything that was going on. My daughter stayed in contact with some of her friends that she grew up with, so she's connected with them on Facebook. So I found out when Sura passed away, and I found out when a couple other devotees passed away. But other than that, I did not stay in contact with anyone. All ex Swamis. Yeah, that's a lot. Now, I don't even know what the circumstances for most of them are, if they just bounced out. Vidyamukya Swami also, he was one. Let's see. Vaishnava Aparad is the barricade one wouldn't dare cross. That's how things go on. Yeah, Vaishnava Aparad. And that's really funny, because they want to say, oh, Prabhu, don't commit Vaishnava Aparad. Well, what about the Aparad that's committed to me? What about the Aparad that's committed to me? Like, perfect example. So my daughter, something happens to my daughter at the LA temple, and I tell the Svavas, the temple president, hey, the guy living in the temple, you're not going to kick him out? Oh, no, we can't kick him out because he hasn't been convicted of anything. But yet, Svavas would kick out people for breaking four regulative principles. Well, you can't convict somebody for breaking a regulative principle. That's not a legal thing. Yet, he could kick anybody out at any time for anything. He's the temple president. He owns the buildings. He kicked people out for having sex in the brahmacharya ashram. He'd do that. He'd kick people out for eating meat. He'd kick people out for gambling or doing drugs, smoking cigarettes. Can you imagine, what's that guy's name? I forget that guy's name. That lawyer guy. Standing on the balcony of the building on Watsika Avenue, smoking a cigarette out there on his balcony? He wouldn't let him do that. He'd go in and go, you can't smoke out there. He'd be like, yeah, I can smoke out here. My balcony. I pay the rent here. So Voss would have said, no, you can't smoke. You cannot smoke on the balcony right here in front of the temple. And if you continue to smoke, I'm going to kick you out. That's what he would have done. He kicked a lot of people out for a lot of stuff. But the guy that molested my daughter, sorry, Prabhu. There's nothing I can do. He hasn't been convicted of anything. I can't ask him to leave. I mean, that's like harboring a criminal. To me, that's like harboring a criminal. I mean, pretty much you're like giving him. You're saying, hey, I know he did bad things, but I'm going to let him stay. What is that? I thought this was a spiritual community. We all chant and we're devotees of. And this guy's molesting little kids, and you're like, everything's okay, everything's cool. Really? That's what we got going on here. You should not follow ISKCON, guys. You want to follow Krishna, you should go to gurus who live in Vrindavan, in the forest nearby Vrindavan. ISKCON has published the wrong Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so Kunal Kumar, I agree. If you want to chant and worship Krishna because you like it, it's fun. You can do that, and you can. I wouldn't read Prabhupada's books, and I wouldn't associate with anybody in ISKCON. And if you want to go to Vrindavan and find a guru, or go anywhere and find a guru, I have no objection to that. Absolutely not. Me personally, I have no interest in doing that. But if you're so inclined, I would say go enjoy doing that outside of ISKCON. Don't get involved in any cult or any guru that wants to control any aspect of your life at all. My friend in India, he's got a guru. Guru doesn't tell him to do anything. Guru doesn't tell him to do anything. Never sees him, never talks to him, never. That's it. That's not like these ISKCON gurus. Give me money. I need this. I need that. Worship me. It's my birthday. Come. It's your guru's birthday. Come on, man. If you're worshiping some grown man, washing his feet, offering flowers to him on his birthday and giving him man, get a grip. Get a friggin' grip. But if you want to go do that, don't do it in ISKCON. Go do it somewhere else. ISKCON is the shadiest of the shadiest of the shadiest of scammy organizations. These guys do nothing but scam everybody. And of course, they have no accountability. They are accountable to no one. This guy, Trivikram Swami, if he says, hey, I had sex with this disciple and now I'm gonna take it easy, I'm just gonna go hang out and go, I promise to be good and chant and whatever. Then like, okay. It's not like, oh, no, you're out of here. You're out of here. No. They're going to be like, okay. Do you want to go to Mayapur and go hang out? Okay. You want to go to the temple room and give lectures too? You can do that too if you want. There's gonna be zero repercussions from this guy. He can still collect donations from his. You think ISKCON wants to support this guy until he feels better? And same thing with stressed out Swami. Stressed out Swami. He's like, I've been doing Hare Krishna, I've been Krishna consciousness for 50 years, and I'm so stressed out now that I can't do Krishna consciousness anymore. So I'm going to take a break from it, and I'm going to go to India, and I'm going to go sit by the river, and I'm going to be Krishna conscious. What fucking sense does that make? Oh, so you're going to start over from zero? Or you're just going to do, hair of the dog. You're going to just do more. You wake up with a hangover, so you're going to start drinking again. This guy's all stressed out. He's got physical problems, mental problems, all kinds of problems. And he blames it on the stress of just doing too much Hare Krishna. Because what else does he do? He doesn't do anything else. All he does is Hare Krishna. And he's doing so much of it that he's just so stressed out. He can't take it anymore. So he's going to take a break. Naranjan. I'm not Swami anymore. I'm just Naranjan. Like the other guy with having sex. They're both the same. Just the one got caught with a woman, and the other one, I don't think he got caught yet. That's all. That's my. Now you want my personal opinion? That's my personal opinion. The other guy ain't been caught yet, but he's stressing out. He's stressing out like he is. So he's just going to take a break and go mellow out. What kind of guru is that? I need a guru. So I wake up one day and I find out that my guru needs to take a break from being guru. What, I'm too much for you now? Was I the straw that broke the camel's back? Now you got to go to guru reform class? You got to go. You wake up one day and my guru's banging his disciple, which means that's my god sister, right? I'm a disciple. He's banging my god sister. Maybe we got initiated at the same time. And now my guru is banging my god sister. Like, what the hell is that? I mean, obviously my guru is not taking it seriously if he's messing around with my god sister. I mean, this is reality, folks. I mean, I make it might sound funny, and I might have this goofy attitude, but this is reality, man. This Trivikram Swami, he's 83, 84 years old, writes a letter and says, hey, I'm having sex. I've been having sex with one of my disciples. And his disciples wake up and read this email or read this post. What? My guru, what? With who? With my god sister? Like obviously he's not serious about what he's doing. And he's not honest because he only admitted it when he had to admit it. He if he was honest, he would have said on day one, hey, he would have said before. He would have said, hey, I'm having feelings for this woman. And I'm being honest. I'm having feelings for, Shakti Devi over here or whatever. That would have been the honest thing to do. But he didn't do that. He went ahead, started banging her. He started sneaking around. Obviously, he had to sneak around, right? He didn't want anyone to find out. sneaking around, banging his disciple. He's 83 years old. Now, I understand because it's all BS. So if it's all BS, then it's easy to understand. Yeah, the guy's 83 years old. He's like, but back to the point. The disciple wakes up and goes, "Hey man, I've been supporting you for 10 years. I give you donations. I every now and then I buy you tickets on an airline, or I pay for your hotel, or you need a laptop and I get you a laptop, or whatever I do, I support you in whatever ways I can, and I've been doing this for 10 years. And you're supposed to, guide me back to the spiritual world. You're supposed to take me back to Vaikuntha. You're supposed to hand me off like a football to Srila Prabhupada, like a lateral. Here, take him over, take him to Goloka. You're supposed to hand me off, or you're supposed to pass me on up to Goloka Vrindavan. You're supposed to be my all access pass, my backstage pass, my all access pass to the spiritual world. And now you bounced out with some girl, some disciple, some woman. I don't know who she is. And I don't know if I don't know if you're going back to Godhead. You might. How do I know you're going back to Godhead? Like Trivikram Swami. A year from now, you could be like not even Krishna conscious at all. You could be, in Barcelona in a friggin' bar crawl or whatever. I don't know what you're doing. Having a wine tasting somewhere south of France. And I'm sitting here, San Diego Temple. Where's my guru? What do I do? Wow, the last 10 years is full of shit because I've been donating to this guy. And worshiping this guy. I got a little picture of him on my altar, and I've been offering him flowers and part of my burrito every morning. And now he just bounces out. So what was all that? What have I been doing for the last 10 years? You've been getting cheated is what happened. And he's going to skate off and do that and ruin these people's spiritual life, or at least mental. Well, like that one lady said, she's like, what the fuck's going on? I mean, they got to at least be saying that. I don't think any of his disciples are like, oh, no big deal. Every one of his disciples has to be going, well, what's happening? And probably a good chunk of them are probably a percentage of them are going to leave. They're going to wake up. Like me. They're going to go, what the fuck is this? This is full of bullshit. How does a guy that's been doing this for 60 years, he's 83 years old, he's chanting, he's got the thing in the bag, and he's doing everything. He's reading the books, he's doing more than me. He's certainly doing more than me. And he bounces out with some woman. Well, what do you expect me to do? And that's no fall down. This Trivikram Swami thing is no fall down. This was planned. Fall down is if, he looks at a woman and he's like, oh man, I want a piece of that. That's a fall down for a guru. And then he's like, oh, what am I doing? What was I thinking? I got a stick. What am I doing looking at this woman's ass? That's a fall down. Or his disciple gets too close to him when she's handing out prasadam, and he touches her leg. Or he touches her ass. That's an accidental fall down. Like, Like, Guruji, what are you doing? Like, Guruji, you just goosed me. What are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Oh my goodness. I don't know what. Oh, namaste. I don't know. Radhe Radhe. Whew. That was a fall down. Boy, was that wrong. That's a fall down. What this Trivikram Swami did, I don't know, fall down. This was planned. He saw her. He had feelings for her. He developed feelings for her. He was whatever. It turned into something. It grew. The time to be honest was then. That was the time to be honest. Say, hey, I'm getting feelings for this disciple, and I'm 83 years old, and I don't know what to do. I don't know. Yeah, I know what's going on, dude. You're getting old. You're 83 years old. You're like, any day now, I could just, what's gonna. She got a little touchy-feely with you, and you were like, hey, That's crazy. And and this Naranjan guy with this stressed out Swami is no different. It might not be sex now, but the fact that he keeps complaining about, I can't take it, I'm stressed out, I need to take a break. Take a break from what? Take a break from doing nothing for the last 60 years, 50 years? Since 1972? You've been a Hare Krishna since 1972. You've been chanting. You've been dancing. You've been giving lectures. Been reading these fucking books. You've been traveling the world. It's like you fucking won the lottery, dude. You don't have a care in the world. You don't have to worry about anything. Right? Just Krishna consciousness. 100% Krishna consciousness. 24/7, 365. Going on decades. What do you want? People cooking your food. People washing your clothes. People driving you here, driving you there, buying you airline tickets, flying you around the world, going to Hungary, going to Ukraine, going to Russia, going wherever, India, Mayapur. Year after year after year, just living it up. And you're eating good because you're a guru, so they're cooking nice food for you. You're not eating airport food and fast food and you guys living it up. Living it up. This guy's living it up for years, for decades. Chanting, he gets up in the morning, he doesn't have to worry about shit. He doesn't have to go to work. He don't have to, he got no obligations. He didn't have no board meetings, he had no sales meetings, he ain't got no quotas. He does whatever he wants. When he wants to do it. He don't have to go to Mangalartik if he don't want to. Just sit in his room, sleeping if he wants. Mosey on in, Guru Puja. Go back to his room. Read a little bit. Chant a little bit. He don't have to answer to nobody. Read some letters, answer some emails. Maybe fight with the Ritviks or something. Tweet about the Ritviks or something. Go out. Sankirtan if he wants. Go give a lecture at a college if he wants. Go hang out at the temple if you want. Someone's going to cook him lunch. You can have lunch. You can't get it. Guy is doing that but he's stressed out. He's stressed. That's all. He's so stressed out. So stressed out, he can't take it anymore. He can't take it. I'm doing so much Krishna consciousness, I'm stressed out from it. Well, if you're stressed out from all this Krishna consciousness, what am I going to do? I'm the new guy. And I want you to initiate me. You're supposed to be my guru, but now I've been waiting 2 years for you to initiate me, and now now I get an email saying that you're stressed out and you need time off. So you're gonna go hang out in India and just sit in a hut and chant and do more Krishna consciousness. You're gonna do more of what's stressing you out. The chanting and the prasadam and all this and all the worship got you stressed out. Everybody calling you Guru Dave, offering you all flowers and offering you food, telling you how great you are, throwing you a big birthday party. They got you all stressed out, buying you airline tickets and hotel rooms and flying you here, flying you there. You can't take that too much. Hey, how you doing? I missed a lot of these comments. Actually, Gaudiya Math doesn't recognize this kind, and the actual Gaudiya Sampradaya doesn't recognize Gaudiya Math. Isn't this strange? Look, I'm not gonna get into you with it because I don't want this to turn into a religious debate about the existence of God or the existence of all of that. That's not what I'm here for. But I will say that when ISKCON says that there's a sampradaya and there's all these people, all these imaginary people that go back to the floating spaceman that plays a guitar and he floats between planets, and there's a demon head eating the moon during an eclipse, and you want me to believe that's a fact? I draw the line at that. I draw the line at trying to claim that mythology is reality, history, and that we can't see it because we don't have spiritual vision. No, it's just mythology. It's just mythology. But I'm not here to debate all that stuff. But all those people in the Sampradaya and all those people and all that stuff, that first of all, half those people in that Sampradaya aren't even real. They're not even real people. I mean, there's probably people with that name, Jayanidhi, whatever, and Prabhupada, whatever those names are. There's probably somebody with that name. It's like there's somebody named Peter, somebody named Mark, somebody named John and Paul, right? But that doesn't mean that that's who wrote those books. That doesn't mean that what's in those books is real just because that there really is a name, that Mark is a real name. So just because there's a real Jayanidhi, or there was a real Sanatana Goswami, or there was a real people with those names, those are real names. People have those names. But are they really who they say that they are in this line that is what they say it is? Doing the things that they say they did? That's where I draw the line, and I just say no. I draw the line and say no. So I'm not here to debate anyone's, heritage or their culture or anything like that. That's not what I'm here for. ISKCON cannot tolerate people use their intelligence, but they are fine with people like Trivikram Swami. Yeah, because they're cool with him as long as he, it fits in with what they want. They want to keep everything. They want his follower. It's all about the money. Follow the money. See, if it's somebody like me, who's at the LA Temple, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm working for ITV, and I'm whatever I'm doing there, and I'm pretty much insignificant, and I go to the police about my daughter and the molester in the neighborhood, then I'm branded as the troublemaker because I'm nobody. But Trivikram, he's a bigwig. So he gets treated like a king. I got squashed like a bug. And I didn't do anything wrong. Trivikram is the one who's fallen down. But he's going to be allowed to he's going to be allowed to go live in Mayapur with all the other ones, with Bhavananda and Harikesh and Rameshwar and all the other ones. And Danudar and all of them. Trivikram will be able to go and live there and be right there with those guys. And nothing will happen to him. And most likely, he'll come back and go, hey, look, she's gone. She's gone. I'm sorry, she's gone. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, come on. Let me initiate again. Let me bring in some more of that cash. And then they'll be like, yeah, sure. Come on, yeah, no problem. It's the same old story. It's the same story they've been doing. This story's been going on forever. Forever. Seems Gaudiya Vaishnavism is very splintered. Everyone is fighting, arguing. Yeah, I don't even know what other sampradayas do or anything. They're just, from my time in India, from what I see, is that it's just very localized, and they keep it at a local level. You got a little temple over there, and people go to their temple and they worship their thing, and then they it's not this big worldwide organization where they have temples in every city and gurus in every pot and every, a chicken in every pot. And it just, that's where this Prabhupada and Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta, whatever, it's like, this is like a cult. Prabhupada was this weird cult leader who had this God complex or this prophet complex, this cult leader complex where he was going to save the world, where everyone's going to worship him. He was going to be the spiritual leader of everyone, one way or another, whether in person or through his legacy and through his books. His books were going to live for 10,000 years. I mean, a lot of great people have written a lot of great books, right? Figure like a lot of great people have written a lot of great books, but who says their books are going to be the law books for the next 10,000 years? My books will be the law books for the next 10,000 years. My books. My books will rule the world. In the future, my books are going to rule the world. Everyone's going to be following me through my books in the future. Not just in the future, but for 10,000 years. My books are going to rule the world. This unnatural brahmachari can only create perversion. The source of homosexuality is artificial celibacy. Okay, so homosexuality is it's not caused by celibacy, but or unnatural celibacy. But I believe that this unnatural celibacy does cause problems, and especially when you combine it with with everything else that's going on. So it's a combination of the preaching. I mean, I remember when I would sit there and I would hear these lectures of, and they're talking about homosexuality and it's demonic, and I mean, it's all this stuff is sprinkled throughout the books. Women being, the source of temptation and Maya, and just, men are tied to women. It's better not to be involved. Better not to have any connection with women. Better not to have any connection with women. Better to just be brahmachari. Then just take sannyas and from a certain man's point of view, I guess as a man, I don't know, in a weird male-centric society where we're growing up, where everything's man, and man. Hearing that, it's like, but now that I'm out of the cult, and I'm like, man, that is such dangerous, destructive indoctrination, especially for little kids and little girls and little boys and for grown men, for everybody to hear that every day about Maya Devi and women and men. Better not be, men should better not do, and just better to go to the forest, and men take sannyas at age 50 and just separate from the woman, and better not to be married, and how women are basically just there for men. The woman's only purpose in life is, if a man wants to have sex, then he gets married. It has nothing to do with what the woman wants. It's when a man is at a certain age, if he can't be a brahmachari anymore, and probably say, if you be a brahmachari, and if you can't be a brahmachari, then just get married. Just take a wife. Just pick one. Take a wife. Like you're picking, a flower or an orange off the tree. Pick a wife, and then when you're done with her, then you just toss her to the side and go to the forest and be a vanaprastha, or be a sannyasi, or be sannyasi, be whatever, renounced order. Fuck the woman, fuck the wife. She wanted to be married, have a husband, maybe have some kids. Maybe I don't know. I never was in a Hare Krishna relationship. Thank God. Because it teaches you to be abusive. And it's like being abusive is like smacking your wife around, or being abusive is somehow spiritual. Like because women don't know, they're children. You got to teach them. You got to spank them. You got to smack them around. So, this, it's always about money and power. Yeah, and I believe that's why a lot of these gurus, he's 83 years old, he knows but he doesn't want to give it up. He doesn't want to give it up, just like stressed out Swami. Stressed out. How are you practicing? I mean, obviously, and then the other thing is they want to blame it on your chanting is not pure. Your chanting is offensive. You're not being attentive. It's always your fault. Your chanting is not good enough. How does a guy that's been chanting for 50 years, 60 years, and now his chanting is not good enough? it just, none of what they say makes sense. I can understand in the beginning. See, all this stuff is backwards. In the beginning is when you have the affair, when you have the fall down. In the beginning. And then you learn and you grow and you make corrections and you become fixed up, as they say. And then you eventually, when you're 83 years old, you don't fall down. But ISKCON and these cults, because it's not really a spiritual practice, it's just a cult, just a group of people believe in weird superstitions, thinking they're saving the world or something, deluded. New neophytes, new devotees do not see the rot, the filth, the degradation, much more. Since 1977, my mantra is not kirtan or sankirtan, it's Mahamantra. That's what we is wrong. Yeah, I don't even know what new people. I feel like new people that come in, they go through the Bhakta program, they don't know anything. Especially these new devotees from the Eastern Europe. They don't know anything, because they have to hear it in their own language from someone who knows it, or it would have to be translated into their own language, or they know English, can read and write English, well enough to where they're going to read Monkey on a Stick. What are they going to read? Monkey on a Stick? Are they going to read? Are they going to read some of these books, Killing for Krishna and all these things? They're told that these are operatis, that people like me, like a suppressive person, operati. I know when I first left ISKCON, when I first left the Ritviks, ISKCON, whatever you call it, when I first left, and I was still hearing gossip about me leaving, because I was still getting emails and online and whatever, and them saying, oh, Sri Mukunda hates Prabhupada now. And it was really it was really interesting, because I wasn't at that stage yet. I was just bouncing out of the cult. I hadn't made up my mind about any issues about hating Prabhupada yet. That was the farthest thing from my mind. But they'd already made that leap. They'd already made that assumption that if you leave ISKCON, then you have to be a Prabhupada hater, because it's us versus them. There's no, oh, you're just a person. It's like you're either with us or you're the enemy. And you're either if you're the enemy, then you're either to be converted or to be extinguished. There's no other way. A devotee from Mumbai told me anyone could fall down. If your Swami or Guru could fall down, then they are not Swami or Guru. They are full of lies, deceit, and deception. Yeah. Why would you want a guru that can fall down? But since we know that gurus are just people, then we know that they can fall down, and there is nobody that can't fall down. That person doesn't exist. And these guys might make it over the finish line, because the idea that they're not falling, that someone is not falling down. There are people that don't break four regulative principles in their normal everyday life, and they are not devotees. So, but we don't care. I mean, it's not like breaking regular principles is a prerequisite for being a sense, and they want to say, well, you're a sense enjoyer. Well, how is the person who's not doing what you're not doing any worse than you? Well, because he's not chanting Hare Krishna. Well, so what? That's not a fall down. None of what they say makes sense. And if none of what they if nothing what they say makes sense, there's no reason to go look for a guru anywhere. Because every guru is just another person who can or cannot fall down. You can or cannot fall down. So if they do fall down, so what? They were gonna fall down anyway. And if they didn't fall down, so what? Because that doesn't prove anything. They're just people. You have these gurus that have never fallen down and done anything wrong, but yet they're still messed up in the head because they're protecting these pedophiles, these predators. They're protecting people that they know have done horrific things. Horrific things. This whole cover-up with Lokanath Swami. It's now coming out that they were covering it up the whole time. The whole time they were saying nothing happened, they knew something happened and they were just covering it up. Now it's all come out. It's like Swavas. He can't say he didn't know and he wasn't covering up for this guy. Because when I told him that I went to the police and the police knew and they were doing a whole investigation, that changed everything. Because now his thing about, I don't know, now you do know. And now you have to take sides. And now you choose that guy's side. So is that a fall down? It technically is not, but I mean, it's worse. It's worse. I mean, is it being truthful? Is it being honest? Is it being compassionate? I mean, I don't know. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? You can't look at a pedophile or an instance of a sexual assault or child sexual assault. You can't just look at it for what it is and say that man touched that. No, it's all this guru and aparad, and well, the verse says if somebody's engaged in transcendental service to the Lord, and if something happens, accidental fall down, you got to still treat him saintly and not find fault or all that. What that crap? You just can't put that stuff aside and say that's wrong. Even Jesus did not drink water from washing the feet of the bogus false guru. That's why he's imagined. Man, they say their own superstitious belief is you become what you worship. So these guys are worshiping these people, right? These disciples were worshiping this Trivikram Swami, who at 83 years old is having an affair with one of his disciples. Not just some woman somewhere, one of his disciples. Like a college professor is not even supposed to have sex with one of their students. That's supposed to be, unethical. And yet, this guy, he's guru, he's got a disciple, and what lack of judgment. At 83 years old, after doing years and years of Hare Krishna. I mean, if that doesn't say something about Hare Krishna, I don't know what else does. And it's not just him. If it was just him and only him, you could almost say, okay, it's this one guy. It's this one guy. But it's not. It's a repeated pattern of going back to the original 11 gurus that Prabhupada picked back in 1977, 76. It goes all the way back then. Those were picked and they started doing bullshit stuff, and then they all started falling down in the 80s. It goes back 45 years. 40 years. These guys have been falling down and doing this shit for over 40 years. It's still going on today. Still going on today. Instead of realizing, hey, this is bullshit, because obviously the best guys that we've got are all bullshit. So they just keep making more bullshit guys. More than half the original guys did horrible shit, left with horrible stories. Almost like 9 of the 11. That's pretty good percentage of guys fucking up. So what do they do? Just make more guys. Okay. So the entire Hindu religion is complete BS. So it's a religion, which means, it's an ideology. If people want to believe in whatever stories or whatever myth makes them, represents the ideas of goodness and faith and truth. What all, I'm not here to knock that. I could, but I'm not here for that. I'm not here for saying that a whole religion is BS. Because there's a lot of people that are Hindus or Christians or whatever, and they're not fanatical cult members who are a hazard to people's lives. Okay, it could be. You can have fanatics anywhere. You can have fanatics in every religion, but some organizations are completely fanatical. That's the difference. And ISKCON is a completely fanatical, radical, dangerous, Taliban-like organization. They want to restrict women's rights. Prabhupada says women don't need to go to school. Women don't need to do anything but just cook and clean and have kids and take care of the kids. That's what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says women should not have any positions of responsibility or authority or anything, and that they can't be trusted, and that they can be beaten. There's 3 things that can be beaten in this world. That's a drum, a dog, and a woman. So that's horrible teachings. That's stuff that you don't want. That's the kind of stuff you don't want should not be taught to young girls, young boys. But Hinduism and Prabhupada's teachings completely different. It's a whole different thing. So, as actually new, I don't please know whether Hindu BS if it's all. But I don't want to get into that. But cults, though, definitely don't get into a cult. And cults will use religion. So you have religious cults, you have Christian cults, like Jehovah's Witness, Mormonism, whatever, and you've got Buddhist cults, and you've got all kinds of cults, transcendental meditation cults, Jewish cults, Buddhist cults, Hindu cults, because cults need something to grab onto. They need a like a host. they need an idea. So So there are all kinds of things out there, and mythology. I mean, like, if you wanted to get into Greek mythology, Hindu mythology, I look at them the same, and I respect them. I don't, but the demon head eating the moon. I'm gonna go back to that because I remember it was like a prerequisite that you have to believe these things. You have to believe these things are literal. That there is a demon head eating the moon, and that there is a this and a that, and that there is a four-headed guy growing on a flower out of the stomach of a four-armed guy who's laying on a snake, who's really his brother, that's laying on an ocean of milk, and whatever. Like you have like that. That's not just some mythology or some symbolism or some creation story. No, it's that's part of the cult, is believing that 100%. That's like it's like a purity test. It's like a it's like the entrance fee, whatever you want to call it. Nowadays, gurus and swamis does a mistake or a sin, and they all have to do is more penance. Yeah, just more of what didn't work. Yeah, let me just do more of what got me in this problem in the first place. Like, I've been chanting for decades, doing all this stuff for decades, and now I'm 83 and I'm having sex with this woman. So in order to fix this, let me just keep doing what I was doing. Basically, he's just going to keep doing what he was doing because they don't want the money to dry up. If he was honest with himself, he'd say, "Yeah, I had sex with this woman, and I'm leaving. I'm leaving." Otherwise, why would I have sex with this woman? Why would I have had sex with this woman? Why would I be feeling stressed out that I got to take a break? Why? Why am I feeling stressed out? I should be just surfing through life. Just I should be on easy street. I'm a guru. Like Bhagavan with his golden toilets and all this stuff. I should just be, everything should just be golden. But no, he's stressed out. It's like when I had dinner with Tamal Krishna, and he was just complaining about everything. Complaining about this, complaining about that, it's miserable. And I was like, I thought you were a guru. I thought you were supposed to be this guru guy. Prabhupada books will be stored in the mist and fable section. They're not even, you can't even find his books in a bookstore. They won't be. You could find them in a thrift store, but if you go into a bookstore, like, they don't even have his books there. You're not going to find his books. They're not going to be anywhere. Prabhupada, in fact, tried in India with lead devotees, never took off, hence he went to USA. Right. Yeah, it never took off. It was a failure. So he came to the U.S. because everything Prabhupada did was a failure. He was not a pure devotee. He was not this perfect guy that did everything and everything was right. He failed he dropped out of college. He didn't get his diploma, so he was a college dropout. However they want to frame it, I don't care. He dropped out of college, so he's not a scholar. He's not the world's most renowned Vedic scholar. He's not a scholar in any way, shape, or form. Is he a scholar? So he failed at being a college student because he didn't get his diploma. He didn't graduate. He failed at his jobs. He was a chemist or whatever, or a pharmacist. That didn't work out. He failed at that. Then he tried publishing his Back to Godhead magazine. That didn't do it. He did what, four issues? 4 or 5 issues of Back to... I did 2 of my magazine, and my publisher. He was no publisher. He was no nothing. He printed out a magazine the same way I did. You got enough money, you could pay a printer to print out magazine, and you write the stuff and you fill it up. It's no great achievement. It's just like, you gotta want to do it. I mean, So he did that. Big deal. So what? He failed at that. I failed at it. I failed after 2. He did twice as good as me. He did twice as good as me. He got like 4 or 5. Then he did his League of Devotees, failed at that. Then he wrote his Bhagavatam. That didn't do any good. Then he came to the U.S. He tried to start something there. You could say after a while it worked. After, so many years, the hippies took over, but I wouldn't say that he really succeeded at what he wanted to do in any way. Prabhupada would be disappointed in his movement today that it didn't keep exploding the way it was at the end. If you look at it that way, then it was not really a success. It's not really. If you look at it that way, his movement is not really a success. It's a success in the sense that it still exists, and there's still people joining, and there's temples. But is it really doing what he wanted it to do? Is it as big as he wanted it to be? It's not nearly. Marriage is a failure in ISKCON. It's because they get married, and in classes, as you said, for women is Maya. The poor guy has to go back. Marriage fails in ISKCON because Prabhupada teaches them that marriage is a failure, and that marriage is a failure, and that inherently marriage is going to fail. So if you're getting married and you're in the books and everything you're reading and everything you're hearing is teaching you that marriage is a bunch of bullshit, then eventually you're not gonna. I mean, I don't know. I met a couples that were married, and they were long-term married in ISKCON, but I don't think they're happy. I don't think anybody in ISKCON is happy. I think it's all a charade. It's all a bunch of bullshit. They're not doing anything more than doing like cosplay, like they're 15th century Bengalis. That's it. Running around chanting Hare Krishna, pretending to be spiritual, pretending to be in ecstasy, pretending to be in transcendental bliss. I'm not saying they're not happy. Some of them are happy. A lot of them are happy. But they're deluded and they don't know what's really going on. And because they don't really know what's going on, they fool themselves into being happy. If women are the problem, then Sri Mahavishnu is transitioned into becoming a transgender female being called Mohini, who sexually aroused Lord Shiva, is not gay. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing is like, that whole thing, and then he chases her, and he spills his semen, and that becomes the holy places, and there's so much weird stuff going on in these stories that I was reading that it messes your mind up. And I see it as a lot of it as being like old-time pornography. It's like old-time Himalayan pornography. The old-time Indian, or, a lot of this stuff comes from Afghanistan or Persia, wherever. The Vedas and stuff didn't originate in India. So I see it as like this really old-timey, ancient type of pornography where they told these stories. The stuff was written in these stories, and I think what survived, because there's a lot of books, okay, and these stories will span different books. So you'll have stories in the Bhagavatam about, there's hundreds of stories in the Bhagavatam. You get stories in the Bhagavatam, but then those same stories are told in other books in other places, and they're told with either more detail or less detail, or they're told by a different person, or they're summarized. So there's a lot of stories in a lot of different places and things going on, and you get different versions, and different things are revealed according to what you're hearing. Like there's a whole book just about Lord Shiva, and it's like a whole thing about Lord. And there's a whole book just about the gopis, and like those aren't translated by Prabhupada. So you got to go find a translation of a version somewhere in India that's been translated into English, and then you read that and you go, oh, that story in there is the story that Prabhupada says in Krishna book about when Krishna steals the gopis' clothes, but it's told in this book, and it's told a little differently. So there's, and I'm not saying exactly that, but there's things like that. So I would buy these books when I was in India, and I was reading some stuff, and there's like stuff about Lord Shiva that you don't get in Prabhupada's books, and it's stuff about different pastimes of Krishna and things that you'll read in other books, and that's why Prabhupada says don't read anything that I didn't write, because you start reading this stuff and you go, wait a minute, you start filling in the blanks, and then you start to see this picture that wasn't there before. You only had this one small piece that Prabhupada gave you, and then you're like, oh wait, there's more. Prabhupada didn't just. There's more than what just Prabhupada says. There's a lot more than what Prabhupada says. Maya marriages in ISKCON is like Islamic Muslim temporary marriages. Yeah, it's like men are just borrowing the women for the time being for them to use for their sexual enjoyment, and then they just discard them. And then the women go to Vrindavan and live in an ashram for widows, because the man went off to Mayapur to go chant, or wherever they go. Sairam Ambalangam. Hey, how you doing? Have a great day yourself. I think the West was doing great, being a place of hippies, drug addicts, psychos, and serial killers. I never understood why Mahaprabhu even chose West to preach, while always had problem of being over violent. Well, he came to the U.S. because the U.S. is a place of opportunity. I mean, this is a place where people come from all. The U.S. is a place where people come from all over the world because they want to try and make it there. They want to try and like get their little bit of the pie. They can open a business. It's the land of opportunity. And although and in a way it is so, and especially at that time. I mean, where is he going to go? Ecuador. He went to New York. He went to the biggest city. He went to the biggest city where all the money is. All the money, all the rich people, all the influential people. I me's he going to go? Bakersfield? Where's he going to go? He failed in India. He had to go somewhere. He said, "No, go to New York." I mean, New York. If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. I mean, as far as picking a place to go, I mean, where else would he go? London, maybe? London, Paris, New York. I mean, any one of those cities would have been a great place to go, I guess. He figured New York was so. At one point I was trying to count fallen gurus in ISKCON, well over 60. I was trying to do that too. In fact, I was trying to look it up so I could reference how many had fallen down and how many I knew. And the list that I got was completely incomplete as far as how many gurus had fallen down. 60 is a lot. I mean, 60 is like more. I mean, I think there's only been around 100 at a time. Right now there's like 103 for 60 to fall down. That means they replaced 60. So if there was I mean, I don't know how it works. I don't know. That's crazy to even think. All you need to do is go to a good park and meditate. Don't fall and give all your money to fake capitalist gurus. And that's the thing. Like if you want to chant in the park, or you want to worship something, collect crystals, burn incense to bring good luck, or any of those type of things, I have no problem with that. That's to each his own. That's what makes life beautiful and wonderful and enjoyable, is to find those things. But getting involved in a cult that can't take care of their children and does all kinds of weird things and just has a laundry list of crimes and gurus and stuff like that, that's where you gotta draw the line. You gotta. How dumb are people to give millions of dollars to some lusty babas? People get scammed every day. That's why I'm doing these videos, because people get scammed every day. They want answers. They want to be comforted, and they want answers, and they want to feel like they've learning something or progressing. That's how I felt. I felt like I was on a path and I was progressing towards an end, and I was going to be a better person, a spiritual person, a more like holy type person. Right? Not holy. I wasn't going to like heal people, but I felt like I was progressing towards being a better person spiritually. And I realized that once I realized that this was a bunch of bullshit, and it was, then I was like, I got off that train. I am out of here on that. Why you have one Mother Mary and a lot of fathers in every church is being a bastard comment in your culture? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's the father is a term of respect for the priest. You could call him priest. He has a name, Priest John, or Father John. It's just like a tradition, I guess. And Mother Mary is like Mother Yashoda. So you have Krishna has Mother Yashoda or Mother Devaki, and so in the Catholic Church or the Christian Church, there is Mary, the mother of Christ. So what does this say? Everywhere you go, there is abuse. It is the material world. In the army, by your odds, you can be abused. Nothing new. Okay, yeah, you can be abused in any. You're right. You can be abused in the army. You can be abused in school. You can be abused in all of these places. But the difference between abuse in all of these places and abuse in the Hare Krishna cult is, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again because obviously you didn't hear me, is that in the Hare Krishna cult, they don't report crimes of abuse. They don't report crimes of sexual abuse. They abuse their own children. So their children aren't even in danger in the outside world that you're talking about. They're in danger in their own home community that they're already in. And because they don't report those crimes, and they don't report those child abusers and sexual abusers, they're not reported to the authorities. It's like I said, The temple president protected the molester. He would not remove him from the community. In fact, there were 2 predators in the community, and the temple president would not remove them. That's the difference. In the real world, in the material world that you call it, but it's the real world. In the real world, not your fantasy Krishna world, but in the real world, predators and sex abusers are reported to the police. And when enough evidence is gathered, the city attorney or the district attorney decides whether to file charges against them. And if there's enough evidence and charges are filed, then it can go to trial. And the defendant has the opportunity to choose a trial by jury, or a trial by judge. And then a decision is made, either by judge or by jury, guilty or not guilty. That's what happens in the real world. That's called justice. Sometimes they're found guilty. Sometimes they're found not guilty. Every case is different. But in your cult, your ISKCON cult, that doesn't happen. In your ISKCON cult, predators are not turned into the police. There is no evidence gathered. There is no investigation done because there's no report made. So charges, there's never ever an opportunity for a district attorney or a city attorney to bring charges. So therefore, a judge trial or a jury trial is never an option, because charges are never filed, because no one reports the crimes. So therefore, your predators, the people that should be brought to justice and we figure out whether they're guilty or not, they're left to roam the community and do it again and put more children in danger. That's the difference between your fantasy Krishna world and the real world, where crimes are reported to the police. That's the real world. Your fantasy Krishna world, you have a child protection office, and we have monitor gurus and monitor whatever. And we don't report these crimes to the police. We just report it to our CPO office. And we let the GBC decide if there's going to be problems or justice or anything. That's like the LAPD investigating themselves. They never find that they've done anything wrong. It's kind of, you think the Child Protection Office or the GBC is going to come back and say, yeah, we fucked up? No, it never happens. That's your Krishna fantasy world. That's why there was a $400 million lawsuit against ISKCON. That's why you had to get friggin' Alan Dershowitz, the Epstein Island guy, to defend ISKCON in its child abuse lawsuit. How fucking crazy is that? You had an Epstein Island lawyer guy defending the friggin' ISKCON child abuse lawsuit. You gonna sit there and tell me that, this can happen anywhere? Fuck. Are you saying that following the teachings of recognized acharyas, worshiping Krishna and Bhakti and chanting Lord is a wrong practice? Yeah, I'm telling you. Let's put that back up there again. I'm telling you that there's no such thing as a recognized acharya. The fuck is a recognized acharya? Recognized by who? The fuck is a recognized acharya? The fuck is that? After being a full-time member for 10 years, I'm not involved as directly in ISKCON, but I still worship Krishna, have an altar, chant the holy name, like hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds of millions of people aren't doing that. So shut the fuck up. I know hundreds of millions of people have a little altar to Krishna in their house like you do and chant. So stop deluding yourself. Don't fucking delude yourself. You're a full-time member for 10 years. I was a full-time member for 20 years. So I was a full-time member for twice as long as you. So what are you going to tell me? What the fuck are you going to tell me? I had an altar in my house. I was chanting Hare Krishna. What the fuck? Who cares? Who cares? Fuck. Sorry to hear about your daughter and well done reporting to the police, but it doesn't mean teachings are wrong. Yeah, you know what? The teachings are wrong. Your fucking teachings are wrong. Black people don't belong in the jungle. Civil rights is not wrong. Black people are not ugly and stupid. Black people are not drunkards. And if you build a library, they don't go for drinking. They will go for reading. Women are not less intelligent. Women don't have small brains. Women don't like to be raped. Yeah, your teachings are fucking wrong. "11-year-old girls should not be married to 22 and 25-year-old men." Prabhupada was wrong for having sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22 years old. And there's no amount of your arguing is going to convince me that Prabhupada was right to have sex with an 11-year-old girl when he was 22 years old. I'm sorry, okay? So you can just fuck all the way off with that shit. Every religion teaches that homosexuality is sinful. Well, then every religion is fucking wrong. Again, you want me to believe a book that says that homosexuals were farted out of Lord Brahma's ass? You want me to believe that? And you want me to believe that a demon head is eating the moon? What are you fucking out of your goddamn mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? Listen to you. What child marriage are you talking about? I'm talking about the first canto. The first canto, chapter 17. Prabhupada says that 16-year-old girls must be married to 25-year-old men. And all the other places where he says that girls must be married before puberty. And Prabhupada says, I was 22 years old when my wife was 11. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the girl that said she was 13 when her mother married her off to some guy so he could take her to India and continue to fuck her. And if you don't know about that, I got to say that I don't even believe that you've been in ISKCON for 10 years, because if you were in ISKCON for 10 years, you would have read the Bhagavatam. You would have read the first canto of the Bhagavatam, and you would know about all the places where Prabhupada talks about child marriage. So why the fuck don't you know about this shit? Why the fuck am I teaching you about this shit? Fuck, there ain't no child protection office. It's a guru protection office. They didn't protect my daughter. Personal foibles and sins of it. No, it's organizational. Fuck you and your personal things. It's organizational. It's all on Prabhupada. This is all coming from Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada's the one that neglected the children. Prabhupada's the one that created a school and put these degenerates in charge of these children so they could harm them. Prabhupada's the one that didn't do anything when they came to him and said, Prabhupada, what should we do with this man? He's been molesting the children in the school. And Prabhupada said, oh, just send him away. But he can come back on Sundays. Prabhupada's the one that did all of that. Prabhupada's the one that created the curriculum for the school. Prabhupada's the one who chose the people to be in the school, to run the school. Prabhupada's the one who picked these gurus. Prabhupada's the one who picked Bhavananda to be a guru. He's the one who picked Kirtananda. Two of the biggest child molesters ever. Prabhupada picked these people to be in charge. Where the fuck have you been? Personal foibles? You out of your fucking mind? Get the fuck out of here. Dude, you're out of your mind. You want to compare the crimes and abuses committed by priests to you know what? One of them doesn't have anything to do with the other. I can invalidate the teachings of your fucking disgusting books based on the fact that your books are disgusting. And then I can invalidate your gurus on the basis that your gurus are fucking disgusting. And one has nothing to do with the other. Although the books teach people to be fucking disgusting. It teaches people to be racist and sexist, to hate women, to say that women like to be raped, that little girls should be married. This is in your fucking books, dude. You're fucking sick. Maybe they don't report to material world because it's spiritual world. You're in a fucking fantasy land. You're in a fucking fantasy land. You don't want to report crimes to the police because you're in a spiritual world? I bet if somebody came along and shot your guru in the head, you'd call the police. I bet you'd call the police on that. I bet if somebody came along and like stole money out of the temple safe, you'd want to call the police on that, get to the bottom of that, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would. You'd want to get to the bottom of that. Probably never made an article if faith disbelieved the moon landing. He just doubted it like many times. You know what? You want to stick up for Prabhupada. So you support Prabhupada being 22 years old when he had sex with his 11-year-old wife? You support that? You agree with that? You agree with that? Here it is on the Veda base. This is from the Veda base. Okay? Prabhupada says right here, formerly when I was married, my wife was 11 years old. So laughing, an 11 years old girl, and I was at the same time 22, 21, 22. One day I captured her hand. She began to cry. Laughs. A little girl, you see? So gradually. So Prabhupada says his wife was 11 years old and he was 22 and he captured her hand. What do you think he means by he captured her hand? You think he held her hand? You think she started to cry because he held her hand? This 22-year-old man, 11-year-old girl. He holds her. He captures her hand. What do you think he means when he says he captured her hand? And she began to cry. And then he laughs and says, "A little girl." What do you think he's talking about? What is he trying to say in this? What is he saying? What's the point of this conversation? And what is he saying in this conversation? You tell me. You think a 22-year-old man should have sex with an 11-year-old girl and then laugh about it? You think that's a pure devotee? You think that's somebody that you want to worship every day of your life? Wake up and offer him flowers and incense and pray to him and sing songs to him? This man, 22 years old, had sex with an 11-year-old girl, laughed about it. A little girl, he says. If he was just holding her hand, what's the point of the story? What's the point of the story? If he was just saying, "I was holding your hand," what's the point? Prabhupada, what's the point? What's the point of this story? No. He's saying, my wife was 11 years old and I was 22. and I had sex with her. She was a little girl. He doesn't think there's anything wrong with that. He says it plain as day, as if it's just perfectly normal. And then he puts it in his canto 1 of the Bhagavatam. 16-year-old girls must be married 25-year-old men. You want your 16-year-old girl married to some 25-year-old man? Devotee or not, you want your 16-year-old, you want your 11-year-old girl married to some 22-year-old man? I've known many guys who were kicked out of temples for sex abuse of minors and who were banned from temples because of it. You do? Name one. Name one. And why do you know so many predators? But name one. Tell us one. People say it all the time. These people come in, people will say anything. They lie. These people will lie through their teeth. They will lie and lie because you know what? They don't care if they lie. If they can lie to get you to be a Hare Krishna, they'll do it. Because Prabhupada says, by hook or by crook. By hook or by crook, sell them a book. Any means necessary. It doesn't matter if you lie to them or not. You know how many times I was lied to at the LA temple? I was lied to. Does your kid go to the LA school? Yeah. His kid didn't go to the LA school. Was there ever any problems at the LA school? Oh no, we've never had any problems. Yeah, they had problems at the LA school. And it goes on and on and on. These people don't tell the truth. So he says, I know many people who have been, look, he even admits, let me put this up here again. I know many guys who were kicked out of temples for sex abuse of minors and who were banned from temples because of it. So this guy admits that he knows many people that have been kicked out for sexual abuse of minors. He admits. He confirms what I'm saying. He's saying, yes, you're right. There is a lot of child abuse in this movement. He just says that they kick them out, and I say they don't kick them out. That's where we disagree. We agree that there's child sexual abuse epidemic in ISKCON because he knows many. How does he know many? How does he know many? I knew of two. The guy that touched my daughter and the other guy that's still there. They're both still there as far as I know. Well, this guy knows many. He agrees with me. You go to a Hare Krishna temple, there could be many sex abusers there. You won't know. The only difference is I say they don't kick them out. He says they do kick them out. So you can believe the lying Hare Krishna that they kick them out, or you can believe me that they don't kick them out, but we're both saying the same thing. You go to a Hare Krishna temple, there's going to be many abusers there. Is this kind of Bangalore which follows that Ritvik's fine, they follow only Prabhupada? I wouldn't follow any ISKCON people, and I wouldn't follow Prabhupada. That's all I'm going to say. I wouldn't follow Prabhupada, and I wouldn't follow ISKCON. I wouldn't follow ISKCON or Prabhupada. I would find some other way to do what you want to do. And there's many ways to do what you want to do. I wouldn't have anything to do with ISKCON or Prabhupada. Ritvik, Shitvik, Piskon, ISKCON, any of that. I wouldn't have anything to do with any of that. But if you want to worship Krishna, there's many ways to do it. There's many ways to do it. You don't have to get involved with ISKCON, the Ritviks, or any of them. And I hope you find a way to do what you want to do, because you want to go on and worship Krishna and enjoy. You can do it. Just don't get involved with ISKCON. Don't get involved with Prabhupada. That's what I'm saying. So I gave this guy an opportunity to tell us who he knows that was asked to leave, kicked out, and banned. He won't say, because he doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know anybody. And if he did, it's amazing. How would you know a bunch of? I know many. You know many. It's just a weird coincidence that you happen to know a bunch of predators. I know many gurus that have fallen down and done horrible things. Many. I know. I've heard of many, and I met a few of them. So what is? That's what I'm saying. You know, this guy comes in here. He's going to say, "Oh, I was a Hare Krishna for 10 years, and I was in for 20, twice as long as you. You want to try and pull rank? You want to try and pull rank? And my whole experience, it would be over 30 years. If anyone demanded I give them money, I wouldn't give it. Again, nobody can force you. I had a guru in ISKCON. He never demanded. So why did you have a guru in ISKCON, but you don't have one now? Why did you have a guru in ISKCON, but you don't have one now? What happened? What happened to this ISKCON guru that you had? I got to end this live, but I'm dying to know what happened to your guru that you no longer have, that you had. What happened to your guru? I had a guru. I had a guru. I had a guru. What happened? What happened to your guru? What did he do? What did your what did your guru do? What did your guru do? Who did he run off with? What did your guru do? Eternal fearless. What did your guru do? How come he's not a guru anymore? How come he's not your guru anymore? He reject you? Did you reject him? What happened? What happened to your guru? I had a guru. It's like I was a Swami. I had a guru. Didn't give me a name of someone that they know that was banned, because they're not banned. They're not asked to leave. What happened to your guru? Was your guru banned? Was your guru is your guru the one that you know that was involved in sexual abuse and asked to leave and was banned? Was that your guru that did that? Serious question. Was that your guru is your guru one of the people that you know that was involved in sexual abuse? I really got to end this stream, but I'm dying to know why you don't have a guru in ISKCON anymore. That's the $64,000 question now. I guess we'll never know, because I'm not going to sit here and wait. I'm not going to sit here and wait forever. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks. I want to thank everybody for watching today, and everybody who joined in the comments. If you're in this cult, man, I feel sorry for you. I hope you learned something today. I hope you got to see reality and how stupid this cult is, and how nothing that you say makes sense. And it's a bunch of bullshit. I hope you could see that today. If you couldn't see it clearly, come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, and I'll give you another dose, because there's always something. There's always something to say about this friggin' dangerous ass cult. It's Taliban 2.0, with their child marriage, and their women like to be raped, women have small brains, and black people belong in the jungle, abusing their children, marrying them off at 11 years old, 13 years old. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And these people are disgusting. So thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day, a great night, a great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are. Have some great luck, and please, please, please stay out of these cults. Bye.